The trade war is official. India is now being charged 50% duties by the US on imports. The centre is working on a multi-pronged strategy against this levy. India is planning dedicated outreach program in 40 countries, including the United Kingdom, Japan, and South Korea. Other nations in the 40-nation outreach include Germany, France, Italy, Spain, Netherlands, Poland, Canada, Mexico, Russia, Belgium, Turkey, the UAE, and Australia. In each of these 40 markets, a targeted approach will position India as a reliable supplier of quality, sustainable, and innovative textile products. Clearly, New Delhi's firm response to safeguard labor-intensive sector like textiles, shrimp, leather, and gems and jewellery has begun. Bottom line, India has not given in like other countries who were sitting like schoolboys and girls in front of the United States President in the Oval Office. The question is, how soon we will be able to finalize the deal, and till then, how will domestic industry brave the storm?
Sergio Gore as the next US ambassador to India is a very positive step. We all know that he is not only someone who has extraordinary capacities, who's contributed very greatly to the political environment in the US, but he's also a very, very close associate of President Trump's. And I think that makes a tremendous difference at this point in time when we are, we need all the bridging that we can get. So that I think is a positive turn of events which we should welcome, and we do welcome in India. We are also very hopeful that we will find a way to conclude a satisfactory, mutually beneficial free trade agreement with the United States early rather than late.
While we are dealing with the charge of financing the Russian war, Washington itself is in secret talks with Moscow on energy deals. This is Washington's hypocrisy. Trump wants American stake in Russian oil, and that is the truth behind the tariff on India. Now let me take you through the tariff issue now. About 66% of India's export to the United States, which is worth $60.2 billion, will face new tariffs at 50% or more. Textile and apparel exports, which makes up to the 35% of India's share in the US market, will now be taxed at 63.9%. This will hit major production hubs like Tirupur, NCR, and Bengaluru. Diamonds and jewellery worth $10 billion hold a 40% market share in the US and are facing high tariffs of 52.1%. This will affect lakhs of jobs in Surat and Mumbai. Shrimp exports worth $2.4 billion make up to 32% of India's share and are now facing a 60% tariff. This puts aquaculture hub like Visakhapatnam at serious risk. But India stands firm. New Delhi is resolutely standing up to Trump's tariff tyranny. Prime Minister Narendra Modi made a pitch for self-reliance and Make in India products as mantra to counter the steep tariffs. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh said that India must use this crisis to emerge as a reliable exporter to the world. About 30% of India's export to the United States of America, worth $27.6 billion, will not face any duties. These include products like medicines, electronics, and petroleum, which have been kept out of the Trump's new tariff. Other items exempted include refined petroleum fuel and products worth $4.1 billion. Exemptions also cover books, plastics, cellulose, ethers, metals like ferromanganese, ferrosilicon, manganese, and ferrochromium, along with computer equipments. The impact of the steep tariff is reflecting in Gujarat business hub of Surat. With festivals approaching, the international market slowdown could bring Surat's fabric trade to a halt. But crores of rupees can get affected, but India stands prepared. The US tariffs on India will also affect the diamond market, which accounts for 40% of India's export. That India should also be prepared for. Now, the question is, how quickly will 40-nation outreach yield results? Is Donald Trump upset because Prime Minister Modi is standing up to him? How can India cushion the impact of 50% tariff shock? Can GST reform and higher consumption offset losses triggered by tariffs? Why did government get blindsided by Trump 2.0? Will trade war affect defense and strategic relationships between India and the United States of America? Now, on this issue, I am joined by Ambassador D.P. Srivastava, former Indian diplomat, Professor Swaran Singh, Center for International Politics, JNU, and Andrew Lepulun, business strategist and economist. Let me straight away go to Andrew, who joins me from London. What are the immediate action you think India must take to protect our businesses?
Like China, who is facing unprecedented high levels of tariffs since Trump 1.0, and in fact, since the Biden administration, China has long advocated a policy of self-reliance, firstly on technology, and secondly by pivoting its trade and investments to the global south, diversifying its markets. But at the end of the day, whether that strategy works depends on the competitiveness of your products, whether your products would be competitive in the international marketplace, because the agricultural products from India are not the only game in town. I mean, you're facing competition from other countries as well. So there was a good reason why the American market had remained the largest market for Indian exports, because your products are competitive. So if you pivoted to other economies, the end game must depend on the competitiveness and the innovation and the quality of your products.
Andrew,
now, yeah.
If I may add a substitute, wouldn't this hurt the American economy also? You know, a lot of papers are reporting sneakflation in America because of the tariffs.
Well, the effect of the tariffs, the full effect, according to many economists, is going to increase the consumer prices, and it's going to suppress the domestic market, and it's going to lead to inflation. But none of these adverse effects have come to the surface yet. It may take maybe some months before the full effect realizes themselves. And the extent of this effect is still uncertain. And of course, that you're talking about just one country, India, and China, of course, is the world's largest exporter and trader, and it's a very, very large export market in the United States. Now, China, as I said, had long pivoted towards self-reliance and also pivoting to the global south. But China has the unique stranglehold, on Americans' Achilles heel, which does not apply to many other countries. I'm talking about rare earths. And of course, the rare earths is not just a supply, because you can find rare earths in other countries, but the production and the processes of rare earth, which China has developed for decades. And because these processes are very, very dirty, highly complicated, and very, very much tailored to individual products. And these products include not only mobile phones and technology, but Americans' military. And even F-35 fighter jets require these rare earths. And China has found this unique stranglehold. And that's why China is now holding firm and is now watching the scenario with caution, but also with a great deal of confidence.